We're back with Doc Swiner for another Self-Care Friday. How's it going, Doc Swiner?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. I love that you give us all of these great tips on how to practice self-care, which is a thing, and you're like big time with it. Like you're not just talking to our local people, but you flying all over the world telling doctors how to
Hey,
practice self-care. Okay,
hey,
baller.
I'm hireable. I'll come out.
I know that's right. You better get that plug in. Uh, this week, let's start off by explaining to our listeners what care is.
Yes, self-care is all about what we talked about call is what is called the soft life now. So it's all about those things, small and big, that make you feel good, cause less stress, help you to cope better with all the things that are happening in the world.
The first time I ever heard the soft life was from you. Now it's everywhere. I see it
Dang,
everywhere.
good thing.
Like everybody's all about the soft life, the soft life, the soft life. I want to be a part of that life too. I gotta get it together so I can live the soft life like y'all. So what type of self care are we gonna focus on this week?
Let's talk about those toxic relationships.
Whew, child.
Yikes! Yikes!
Yeah. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's just start here and say that I wish we'd had this conversation years ago because
hmm
I had some relationships where I needed some coping mechanisms. Give it to us, Doc Swiner. Let's
We
talk about
all
these toxic
yes.
relationships.
We all have had them, we've lived through them. Hopefully, you've survived them and you have cut them off. I am definitely a professional, sometimes too good of a person that can cut off relationships now. But over time and with maturity, you learn who is good around you, who's good in your circle, who's not good for you, who feels it feels like you have been drained of your energy when you leave them. We all have those situations and we need to assess and be real about them, whether they are blood related or not.
Listen, that is a whole word,
Oh,
whether
it's a
they are
sermon.
blood related or not, because we're not children anymore. We are grown people who can decide who we want in our lives and who we don't want in our lives. And just because you're related to someone by blood doesn't mean that they have to be an active participant in your life.
They don't, and suck the energy and the life source out of you. Absolutely not. You are in control of the energy, the vibe, whatever you call it, your vibe, your energy, your environment. You are in control of that. And you get to decide who comes in and who has zero access. You get to decide that. Or if those people have to be around, for instance, if you work in a certain area or you work in a team or you have a certain manager or supervisor or coworker that you can't fire and you have no you have no control over whether they're around you or not and how much you work together, you can set boundaries. You have to.
Hmm.
You have to. And that is definitely part of, so that's different than going on a phenomenal vacation, for soft life and lounging at the pool and getting a mani pedi. That's for the moment, right? That feels great for the moment.
Right.
This is everyday stuff. This is every day. How am I going to feel good at work? How do I feel good in my home, type of situation? So if you feel like there's someone around you who doesn't want the best for you, who doesn't necessarily not want the best for you, is not malicious, but who has a lot of their own stuff, a lot of their own problems that they're dealing with, and they just constantly pull from you and don't give back, you have to be real about that.
Yes. And remember that you're in charge, you're in control, you're the grown up now.
You
It,
are.
it may have been hard to do that when you were 8, but we're not 8 anymore. So yeah, I think that is such great advice, and it can make a huge difference in your life. And it can just make you feel lighter,
Yes,
right? When you
absolutely.
don't have that heavy weight of that basic. Basically, I refer to them as like energy vampires. Those energy
Exactly.
vampires sucking from you and taking from you constantly.
That's
So,
right.
Doc Swiner, let's get a peek behind the white jacket. How have you cut people off in the past? Since you're the expert,
Horrible. There
we
are
want to know.
how you cut them off. I try not to be cold hearted. I try to have those difficult conversations where it's not me, it's you. No, I try to keep it real and say, look, we have outgrown one another. We had a great run. but I think we've
Mm.
outgrown each other. We're not really, this relationship is friendship, is not really giving us, each person, what we need. I even had to do this
Mhm.
in practice. I had to let some patients go. Same
Oh,
situation. Felt
wow.
drained every time they came to the office. They never followed what plan we set forth the previous visit, and it was just, it felt like I was pulling and pulling and pulling all the time just to get them to do those things that would make them feel better. It's actually better for them. So not only for you, but it's also better for the other person for them to be let go. So in clinic, it was easy because we would just send them a discharge letter, right? That's easy. But when it's a
Right.
loved one, or when it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and you need to let go of one another, you should sit down and say, listen, it's not working for either of us. It's not good
Mhm.
for you, for me to enable you, and have you, have us create this tension all the time. It's not good. Or if you have to talk to that mother or that grandmother, that elder, that raised you, which is, can be really, really hard, because many of us have been emotionally abused, and don't realize it until we are adults. You have to say, okay, I love you. I wish nothing but the best for you, but maybe we only really visit or talk during those big holidays or those family reunions, and I can't have a constant tension with you. It's hard, and you have to find the words that you think the other person will understand. um
Mhm.
or if you want to be cold hearted, I mean, you create that distance until there is no relationship, right? There are plenty of people I love from a distance. There are plenty of people I love from a distance. That's right. I have plenty of loved ones that we only communicate on social media, right? And
Yeah.
that's okay. I still love them, but we don't
Mhm.
have to call each other on the phone type of relationship. We're not that. We're not. It's different.
Yeah. You're bigger than I am. I'm an Aquarius. We
No, I'm
are
not actually. No.
we tend to be very distant. People call us cold-hearted, and I can just cut you off, block your number, block you off social media, and go on about my day. All right, what am I making for dinner now?
You're a
You know.
professional like Rick. You're a professional like my husband. Yeah, I'm a little bit
Yeah.
softer with it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that cold Aquarian heart. We just cut it off and
The
move
ice
on.
box where your heart
That's
used to
right.
be.
It's where my heart used to be. This is so good, Doc Swiner. I think this is great advice. Um, how do our listeners get in touch with you, find you, see what else you're talking about and doing and what you're up to? How do they
Yes.
find you?
I'm at Doc Swiner on almost all social media except for Instagram, where I'm at Real Doc Swiner, and most of my contact info you can find on social media and all that if you hadn't been cut off.
All right, I love it. Thank you, Doc Swiner. Appreciate it. It's another Self Care Friday. We will talk to you again next week,
Have a good
hopefully.
one.